Hey everyone, it's Penberthy here and welcome to this video. And in this video, I want to talk today about what we've learned after generating multiple seven figures with webinar sales funnels, right? Webinars have been one of the biggest parts of my business. If you followed me for any time at all, you will know that. And I decided it's time to put out a video to basically share with you not only what we've learned over our time using webinars, but also give you kind of an updated view on what's working, because there are some things that used to work with webinars that aren't working anymore, and there's some things that now are working very, very well. So let's just get straight into this. I've got 5 things I want to run past you. The first thing I want to address is this. They still work, right? Webinar sales funnels still work very, very well. I hear so many people online talking about the fact that webinars might be dead now and there's different sales funnel types and you should focus on something else. It's actually completely contrary, right? Literally this month already, we've done around about 200 grand in sales with webinars, right? It's still a very, very, very prominent piece into our business and it works very well. And I truly believe the people that are saying they don't work are the ones that are stuck in 2016 and they're trying to do webinars like they used to back then and they're getting frustrated that it's not just as easy, right? There are new ways to do things. So that's the first thing I need you to understand. Webinars still work, you just need to be up to date, right? Which brings me on to point number 2, which is the model has changed. Okay, please take note on this, right? What do I mean by the model has changed? Well, looking back in 2015, 2016, 2017 even, it was okay at that point to put out a webinar sales funnel, okay? Run a Facebook ad, run a YouTube video, put a post on Instagram and say, hey, come and check out this web class that I'm hosting here on Thursday, or come and check out my automated webinar, whatever it is. And so someone registers for the webinar, and literally this is what people do. On the confirmation page, when someone has registered, all it says in a bit of text is something along the lines of, thank you so much for registering, see you on Thursday. Or thanks so much for registering, see you on the webinar. I can't wait to see you on the web class. Oh my word, my glass just fell off. Literally, I don't understand that logic, right? You've got someone registering for a webinar, they've come through to the confirmation page, and that is a prime spot for you to further indoctrinate those people, to build a relationship with them, and instead, you just say, great, see you there. Right? Now, back a few years ago, that did work. You could still make that profitable. But now with rising ad costs on Facebook and other platforms and whatnot, we've got to be smarter, right? We've got to do things differently. So the model has changed. That doesn't work anymore. What does work is bringing someone into a webinar sales funnel, and once they've registered, that is the point where you build a relationship with them, right? Just because someone registered for a webinar or a web class doesn't mean that they're actually going to show up. They have registered their interest. Okay, and from that point, now we've got to build a relationship. Okay, so that's the second thing. Understand that the model has changed. We've got to stay up to date, right? Which brings me on to point number 3. You must indoctrinate your webinar registrants, right? People that have come into your webinar funnel before the webinar happens, you need to indoctrinate, you need to build a relationship with, and you need to build some trust. Right? The big misconception with webinars is that the actual webinar presentation itself does all the work. Right? And for the most part, that is kind of true. That's the biggest piece, right? That's what moves the needle. That's where someone shows up on the webinar, you're gonna do your whole spiel, you're gonna build a relationship with them on the webinar, you're gonna teach them some cool stuff, and you're gonna offer them your products and services, right? I'm sure if you're watching this video, you've either attempted to build a webinar presentation or you've at least been on one. So you know what that process looks like, but that's where people get stuck, is they think that that's everything, okay? It's not. You're gonna increase your conversions on the webinar presentation itself if you can indoctrinate and build a relationship with those people beforehand, right? Think about it like this. If you have someone register from, let's say, a Facebook ad or something like that, they've registered for your webinar, okay? They're excited to show up. If that's kind of where you leave them, right? Just in this limbo place of like, well, I've registered for a webinar, it sounded good, and now I've got to wait till Thursday and I'll check it out. Of course, if that person actually does come and join you on Thursday, you're probably going to build a bit of a relationship with them on that webinar, and you might make a sale or two if you have a few people on the webinar. However, it will increase your conversions if you not only have someone attend your webinar going, this sounded cool, I'm gonna jump on and see what it's like. If you build that relationship with them beforehand and you have them, almost kind of converted into a raving fan before the webinar has happened, now you've got someone coming on the webinar going, oh man, I've been waiting all week for this. I flipping love that Penberthy dude. I just love the training he gave me before the web class. Now I'm ready to really dive into this stuff. It's a completely different mindset. So here's what I do, and here's what I recommend you do. When someone registers for the webinar, We already know that the model has changed, so we've got to do some of this anyway, but I suggest going above and beyond, which is this. When someone has registered for the webinar, on the next page, not only are you going to have a video that says, hey, thanks so much for registering, I'm so excited, I'm going to teach you this, it's going to be a great time. You now need to say, now, while you're waiting for the webinar, while you're waiting for the web class, I've got some training that I want to give you right now. There's a link below to a PDF, there's a link below to a free video, there's a link below to some kind of resource that they can start to consume from you before the webinar has happened. And you can actually just recycle some of the information that you're going to teach on the web class anyway, or on the webinar anyway. Just take some of that information and package it into a training or package it into a PDF. That's going to greatly help you, okay? So that is what point is that? That's point 3. Now, point 4 is that good marketing is everything for a webinar funnel, okay? You've got to understand this. There are so many people on your Facebook newsfeed, Instagram stream, YouTube, you name it. Everyone and their cat is telling you to come onto their webinar, right? There's no shortage of training in that area online. And so more and more, it's very easy for someone to see a Facebook ad for a webinar of an interesting topic and go, yeah, go on then, I'll register for that. They register for it, and even with your indoctrination material, they jump back to Facebook, right? They're not staying on your page for too long. They would just scroll in the newsfeed, yeah, I'll register for that one, yeah, I'll register for that one. And that's why attendance rates have gone down on webinars, meaning the amount of people that register for your webinar, a much smaller number, actually show up on your presentation, right? That's because people are registering and then they're busy, they forget, they weren't truly invested in wanting to be there on that webinar. They just registered because it sounded good, and then they went back to Facebook to see what their partner had for dinner the night before, right? Like that. So what we have to do is we have to make sure we've got good marketing in place, right? If you've seen any of my Facebook ads or YouTube ads or Instagram ads, you'll know that. This is what I preach this, I do it, I live it, I breathe it every day, right? When I'm putting out a new ad, I'm not doing a 20-second video that just says, hey, I've got a new webinar, come and check it out. And I'm not just doing a quick written post that says the same thing. What I'm doing is a detailed video that starts to educate the audience on my topic right there on the Facebook stream, or right there on Instagram, or right there on YouTube, so that before they even leave the social media platform to come check out my webinar, now they're already in a spot where they're going, wow, I've just learned some really cool stuff from this guy, John. Now I'm ready to come check out his webinar, and I really actually want to be there. As opposed to going, oh, look, what's this Facebook ad? Yeah, okay, I'll register and yeah, maybe I'll come, right? Completely different mindset. That all happens from good marketing, right? So don't make it all about the sales funnel. Don't make it all about the webinar. Don't make it all about the presentation. Don't make it all about the offer, okay? You can have the most amazing webinar sales funnel, but if you have terrible marketing, no one's going to get there. And even the ones that do, a very small number will actually come and join the presentation. You've got to have good marketing. You've got to spend just as much time finding the right audience and putting good marketing in place as you do the webinar funnel itself, okay? And then the final point is pre-webinar sales, okay? What do I mean by this? One thing that we've been testing over the last little bit, probably about 12 months, is the idea of selling something and selling our product before the webinar has even happened, okay? So what this looks like is someone registers for the webinar, okay? Now, as I've taught you already, we're gonna indoctrinate them a bit. So we're gonna say, hey, look, I've got some free training for you. Before the webinar even happens, I wanna teach you some of this cool stuff. I'll take them through maybe a 10, 20-minute video. Maybe I'll have a PDF prepared for them. They're consuming some of that content from me. And then I'll use a line, something like this. I'll say, and by the way, if you found this pre-web class training helpful, just so you know, this whole webinar is being put on to celebrate us opening up enrollment into one of our new products or one of our services or one of our programs. And so if you want to have a sneak peek into that program and be one of the first to be able to join, I'll leave a link below to where you can check out what we've got going on with that program, just in case it would be of help for you. I'm going to teach you this. It's going to be great. Have a little look now. Right? Really soft approach to selling, right? I'm not doing hard sales there. What I'm doing is I'm giving them an opportunity to purchase before the webinar even happens. And what you'll find is there is a, I was going to say a small majority, but actually there's a large chunk of people that will register for a webinar. They will never intend on actually joining the 1 or 2 hour webinar because they just don't have the time. Some people just go, just tell me what you got. right? So we don't want to leave those people hanging. We don't want to have to leave them waiting for the webinar itself. We want to give them a chance to get to know us a bit with our indoctrination material, and then give them a chance to just see what we've got. And we've seen a huge spike in sales by doing that. And that helps liquidate some of our ad cost and our ad budget. And we go into the webinar and everything else is just additional revenue, okay? So that is point 5. So anyway, I know I've gone pretty fast in this video. Please do go back and rewatch it. Take notes on that stuff, because if you're doing anything with webinar sales funnels, or you'd like to be, please take into account the things that I've mentioned in this video, because it's so imperative for you moving forward from the spot that we're in right now to get results with webinars. If you want to learn more about this process, I do have a training that will go into detail on this stuff. It's a free training. I think you'll really enjoy it. I'll leave a link in the description box to that, and you can check it out and hopefully get some value from that training that I've put on for you. And finally, if you got value from this video, I would love you to hit that like button, leave me a comment, subscribe to this channel, turn on the bell notification, because this is a new channel that we're building, and we've got a plan for what we're doing with this channel moving forward for the next few months, and we've got some really good stuff coming. So leave us a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. I'm going to reply to every single one, and hopefully you get some value from the training I've linked below as well. All right, take care. Speak soon. Bye-bye.